to another episode of Ready, Set, Cheer. I'm so pumped for this episode. It's the spring special. We're going to be talking about what's next after the season's ended and a new one's begun, beyond high school cheer, summer experiences, as well as 6 tips for rust prevention. But before we get to that, I want to reintroduce my friend and colleague BK from Detroit Elite.
Hey, let's go.
Yes.
And thank you guys so much for having me back on, and thank you so much to State Champs W. Looking forward to this partnership that we've got going for the next year. I can't wait to see both companies continue to grow. It's going to be a great year. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, BK is from Detroit Temple and D Elite, and they're just doing some fantastic things. We'll hear about We'll hear about more in this episode. And you can also go back a couple of episodes and check out his spotlight there. But he's sponsoring this episode, and we're just thrilled. And we want to introduce 2 other special guests today. So go ahead, BK.
First off, right here, we have Megan Robinson, current U of M cheerleader, 3-time state champ from Rochester Adams, and current D Elite director. Meg, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Megan. And we also have Alyssa Toko, who is Carlson head coach. She was assistant coach at Plymouth previously. She cheered everywhere. Okay, let's just name a few. Divine Child, Allen Park alumni, Grand Valley State University, as well as Wayne State University for 5 years. Is that right? And then you also coached there, and you're part of CAM. What am I missing? Any more street creds? You've had so many experiences.
Yeah, I've pretty much been everywhere. And I learn a little something from every team and organization that I've been a part of, which kind of molds me into who I am as a coach today.
Fantastic. I'm excited to hear more about that today. Let's start off with just, what's next for teams right now as far as state finals just finishing last 2 weeks ago, and we're heading into the summer.
Well, we all know that the grind at this level never stops, and you've got athletes right now looking to go make college teams. You've got athletes looking to level up their skills to raise their status within their own current high school teams. So you got a lot going on. A lot of people are putting in work right now, so it's cool to see.
From each of your experiences, what can teams do, coaches and teams and athletes do to level up their prep for next year?
I think that definitely from the coaching perspective, it's all about planning. State finals ended last weekend, and we've already planned out our season. So we're
Wait,
prepping.
did you plan it like before finals? And
Oh, no,
even,
it's
or was
on
it-
our
okay.
car ride home from state finals. We're
Car
planning
ride
the next
home.
season.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all in preparation and going into each season with a plan, and then following through with that plan, setting those goals and making sure that you have a plan to get there.
Having a lot of intentionality with it.
Absolutely.
What else are you seeing, BK? What are teams doing now?
Oh, I had an open gym the other night, and I saw athletes from probably 15 to 20 teams in there just honing their skills, leveling up, doing what they can to set themselves up to be successful.
Yeah, they're still working on their skills like day after state finals, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We were packed.
Well, I want to hear more from you, Alyssa. As a person who's cheered in so many different places and coached in so many places, including college level and high school level, what can you tell us about how that's influenced you as a coach and what your next steps are in this season?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, I've been lucky enough to be a part of so many great programs and have so many great experiences in the cheerleading world, whether that's at the Michigan high school level or the national level. And I've learned a little something from every program I've been a part of, which influences me in the program that I run today. And in addition to that, after not only cheering in college for 5 years, but coaching at the college level as well, it's really shaped my perspective as a high school coach in trying to build longevity within my athletes. There are so many opportunities after high school, and just preparing athletes to not be burnt out and look forward into how they can advance at the next level. I think that it's super important for high school coaches to have that mindset as well, because MHSAA cheer is amazing and it's a beautiful sport in and of itself, but there are so many opportunities past the high school level for these athletes.
What's one tip that you have about how to have that longevity, or how to cultivate that?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like one thing I've really learned is listening to my athletes and really opening up that open communication between coach and athlete because this sport is really hard on our bodies and it's a year-long sport pretty much. So making sure that you're communicating to athletes, having your athletes communicate with you when they need to take breaks, when that downtime needs to be, and balancing that downtime and that time to push is really important in building longevity.
Yeah, there's absolutely a ton of wear and tear that goes into these bodies, especially, you have some of your round 2 athletes that are repping tuck after tuck, walkover after walkover. And your back is taking a beating doing all that. And, at the top level, Alyssa, I know you can account for this. You guys are training pretty hard for probably about 9 months out of the year.
Absolutely.
And it's all part of the process to get you to be in a position where you can be successful. So, yeah, right now it's like, I'm always telling my kids, take a little bit of time off, but don't get rusty. Don't get out of shape because we're right back at it again in a few months.
And as long as they keep those goals that they have set for themselves in the future in the forefront of their mind, rest plays a role in that. But,
It's huge. You got to know your body.
Yeah.
And like we always say, like we inspire athletes to not just win today, but win tomorrow. Like winning the day is the most important thing. And if you're preparing for tomorrow and you're beating yourself up, that's not maximizing your potential as being an athlete.
Absolutely.
You have to be smart about things. So getting time off, rest, recover is arguably just as important as the training that we put in.
Absolutely.
And speaking of, Megan, you're cheering at U of M right now, and previously you were cheering at Adams. So can you speak to that longevity, or just what you would tell yourself back then based on what you know now?
I would just say, just keep working hard and everything's going to eventually pay off. I never really thought I was going to cheer in college. I was never a flyer. I was always a base, so I never really knew, the opportunities I wanted, but I know I wanted to go to Michigan. And so when I first met BK, he told me that I'm talented enough to cheer in college. This is what you need to do. So then I started working. Standing fulls and layouts and all the skills that I needed, and it helped me just get to where I'm going, and especially being at a program like Adams has really made me the cheerleader I am today. I always tell my old coach, I wouldn't be here without you. You are the reason I am the athlete I am today. And I used those tips from BK and my old coach to just make sure that I took it with me to Michigan to continue that kind of hard work, and now I have a champion mindset, and which I learned at Adams now, which will hopefully catapult into national season coming up here in a month. So it'll be really fun.
I can imagine you standing out as a leader on your team now.
Of course she is.
Of course. Especially with that championship mindset and all the training you've had, that rigor from Adams, and then training with D-Elite and BK. What are the things that you learned through his program that helped you take it to the next step?
I learned that, so I already talked about kind of not giving up, but I also learned that just because you weren't doing, say you're not a flyer, just because you aren't a flyer does not mean you can't cheer in college. You need to continue to take opportunities, because again, like I said, I never thought I was gonna be a flyer and cheer in college, and now I'm cheering in the big. No, I didn't. I thought I was gonna be high school and then be done. I was hoping to, but I never until I met BK, honestly, junior senior year.
Nope, you need to cheer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, until junior senior year, I really wasn't thinking about it, and
so he kind of opened this whole door for you that you didn't even know.
It wasn't just me at Adams. It was a bunch of athletes. We all just started. BK kind of changed the game and making us want to cheer in college, because before, especially at Adams, we'd go so hard that people would kind of burn out. By senior year, they're I'm not really interested. But then we met BK, started doing all these fulls with us. It was right after COVID. We were really excited, and then we started just working really hard, and his energy just made us want to keep going. So then eventually we have all these people from Adams cheering in college and just everywhere, all over the state. Now everybody wants to continue at the next level, which is honestly, it's so much fun. Cheering in the big house, it's something that I never thought I'd do, like I said, but Michigan was my dream school, education-wise or not, I was gonna go there. And so now to be able to get my degree and cheer in the big house, it's just honestly so amazing. So thank you to BK for all of that.
It's so cool to see, and Megan is a prime example of someone who was very successful in high school, but now, realize how many doors could open up as a result of going and cheering in college. It's ultimately a networker. It's a resume builder. Every job that you ever apply for someday, they're going to ask you about being a Big Ten cheerleader.
Right.
and you have that. You
Absolutely.
have that access, and the people that you meet on a day-to-day basis that you interact with. Who did you get a chance to meet with this year? If I had to ask you, like, what are some cool experiences, some people that you ran into being part of the U of M athletic department?
So many people. I've met the president of Barstool, Dave Portnoy.
Okay.
JJ McCarthy.
Okay, JJ.
Who else have I met?
Okay,
I've met,
Megan.
I actually just went to the women's Big Ten basketball tournament. It was such a cool experience.
So
like
fun.
seeing like women and just like being so athletic, and the stadiums were sold out. And I just think it was so cool to see like so many people supporting women's sports. And so our women's team at Michigan played Iowa's women's team. So I saw Caitlin Clark, like she was
there we
like
go.
right in front of me, and it was like, and I wouldn't get to experience that if I didn't cheer at U of M. Like I would never have gone to Minnesota and got to do that opportunity, or like be on the field during the Ohio State game when we won 3 times in a row. Like it's just been really crazy. So it's just been,
That had to be pretty cool, being part of a national championship run.
yeah, being there.
When I was cheering at State, we made the Final Four 2 times, and in '08, I was actually down in Kentucky at the time, but State made it to the finals at Ford Field, got beat by North Carolina. But I know that there were so many cool experiences that people got to be around, just being in that atmosphere. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to continuing to follow your journey, even though I'm a Sparty. You know, I always pop on the U of M games and take a look for you on TV.
Thank
So
you.
keep killing it.
So, what is it like to be a Big Ten cheerleader? Like, walk us through a week of your life.
So we practice right now. We're practicing 4 times a week because we're preparing for nationals, and I mean it's a rigorous schedule. We have workouts and we have our practices, but it's also rewarding. And I know like once we get down to Daytona, we have our 2 routines, and they're both gonna be so amazing. I just already know I have so much confidence in my team and like my teammates, and it's really nice because like coming from Adams, there's a lot of people who come from a lot of great places, and like out of state kids and like other like Michigan kids I didn't even knew like I competed against, but now I cheer with them at U of M, and like I just have so much confidence because everyone is from such a good place, and we all just work so hard, and like we're all getting really, really close, and it's just been a great year. But we basically we practice about 4 days a week. We'll practice about 2 or 3 hours, just like repping our routines, and then we'll practice about 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll lift for about an hour and a half, and we just I'll go through sections, kind of like how we did at Adams. Like we would go through like sections of our routine, just repping, really making sure that we're like getting our corrections in. Like my coaches are really good about giving like feedback and just making sure that we know what we're doing, so it'll help us for the future.
That's exciting.
Do you guys have access to a lot of other things that don't involve cheer at the university? Like I remember when I cheered at Kentucky, we had to go to a study hall every week, and they were on us, very, very strict about our grades, and you know we were truly student athletes. Like, do you guys have that experience as well at Michigan?
Yeah, we have like centers that are just based for athletes. So you
Awesome.
can go and like study, and plus Michigan is such a like work hard, play hard kind of school, but like emphasis on work hard just because we all like got here for a reason. And like with Michigan, like you can't be on sports teams without getting into the school first. So people like that come here know like we mean business. Like it's not just fun and games. Like we've won the national championship, but we still gotta like lock in and focus. So I definitely think there's like places where athletes can go and study. Like so it's been really nice just like meeting other athletes in that space. And
So
yeah.
so super high standards across the board with everything, not just cheer, but training you to one day go out into the workplace and be a successful adult. So.
Because even if you don't continue like at a professional level, like you still have a degree from University of Michigan, like you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I always tell myself. So.
And you have those leadership skills too, not just from being a cheerleader, from being a student, but then being put out in all these different situations where you're seen in public and you're talking to people and you're meeting people, and that just sounds really amazing.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Everywhere I go, like we'll go to like a different city. Like one time I was in Chicago with my friends, and they were wearing like a Michigan hoodie, and some guy walked past us, was like, "Go Blue!" Like it's just like the connections you get. Like it's worldwide. Like no matter where you go, like someone's gonna have a Michigan hat, which I really really like. So just like it's gonna show like within connections the next few years. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, or someone will have Michigan rivalry.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's so cool. And you kind of touched on it a minute ago that like you are on this team now with a bunch of highly motivated people from other places, and you sort of learn to gel towards your common goals. And truly, you know, from every college cheerleader I've encountered, a lot of the people that you train with and grow that bond with end up becoming your friends for like the rest of your life too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool to see.
Yeah.
Now, Alyssa, when you went from high school to college level, did you also have the elite program, or how did you prepare for that?
Well, I kind of got thrown into the college level because, like Megan, I wasn't expecting to cheer at the college level. I thought
Yeah.
after high school I was kind of done. And then I got the opportunity to go to a Grand Valley cheer practice in the summer as they were preparing for their NCA camp. And without really any preparation besides being a high school cheerleader and getting kind of thrown off the deep end right before NCA camp, I just kind of had to gather my bearings and learn how to swim. And, you know, like Megan, like one of the best parts of it all was the networking and the opportunities outside of cheer itself that the program created for me. And then I was able to carry that over into Wayne State as well.
That's fantastic. So,
Yeah.
what kind of information do you want to share with young athletes who are maybe not interested in, going beyond high school or potentially thinking about it?
Yeah, I run into a lot of athletes who were like me in high school, who thought after, that last competition senior year, we were done. Because, when I was in high school, I didn't know BK. I didn't have that networking opportunity prior to. So I tell athletes who, get to that level, that last competition senior year, and they're ready to throw in the towel and kind of say goodbye to the sport, to give it a chance, because I'm sure Megan can speak to this as well, and BK. College cheer is much different than high school cheer.
Much different.
The entire college experience is much different than high school in and of itself. So having that network of people at the college level, your teammates, to kind of learn with them and learn from them how to navigate that college space was really amazing. And the sport is much different once you get to the college level. You have the incorporation of those bigger scale football games. You have the incorporation of music into the rounds, which for a high school cheerleader is crazy. So the entire sport shifts gears, and I do think that all high school athletes who love the sport should give it a chance, whether it's at a NAI school, a Division I school, a Big Ten school, whatever it is, to at least try it out. Take your experiences that you learned from high school and through your coaches, and go to a tryout, because you never know what could happen.
Absolutely. What I'm seeing, and I've experienced it myself, is that D-Elite is this portal, this
Yes.
bridge that allows that transition to happen really smoothly now. Well, you've got like middle school girls coming who are going to be insane by the time they're
Hey, like, I should've done that.
graduating.
No,
I only wish that
Done
was an
that,
opportunity
like-
when I was in high school.
Right.
To see
Ditto.
the networking happening amongst those athletes from all over the state, and the opportunities that BK provides is so unique and so valuable to these high school athletes.
Right. And I think when I first started working with BK, we would just do tumbling. And then once I decided I wanted to try out for U of M, he was like, okay, well, you need to do some stunting. Like, let's figure it out. And the first few sessions, I was so scared. And BK was like, it's okay. Like, it's just to toss hands. Like, you can do it. And a walk in. But, like, he helped me, like, realize, like, I can do this. Like, it's really, like, once you practice, like, everything takes practice. So, like, practice makes perfect. So the more you put in, like, the more reward you'll get. So, like, the more co-ed stunts I do, like, the better I'll get. And so, like, BK kind of taught me that. And then from there, like, I was able to go to a few U of M clinics and, like, kind of see, like, my future teammates and kind of see, like, how they work. And I was able to stunt with them, too. So then I was like, okay, I can do this. And so BK kind of got that started for me, because before I never had flown at all. So, yeah.
And you touched on the networking as well. The other day, like, you came out to the co-ed clinic. You've been out to a few. Alyssa, you came out for the first time. What did you guys experience there?
I mean, it was just amazing. I brought an athlete who had never done co-ed stunting before, and just the growth that she experienced working with those athletes and networking with the different female athletes that were there as well to learn. I mean, she has been raving about it ever since. And I know we keep using the word networking because college cheer really is that, and BK provides that at, the ripe age of 13, get you networking, get those opportunities in, get those reps in, the practice, the confidence. I just saw nothing but amazing things, and the athletes truly leveling up with every rep.
So cool.
100%. And that really is kind of the mindset that we have, winning the day today and setting you up to win tomorrow. We sort of created a need for, we've sort of addressed a need in the industry by creating this portal. There's a lot of guys in the state that are ex-college cheerleaders, and we sort of decided to all come together just to make it an easy access point, almost a beacon for the highly motivated athletes to learn these skills, get them set up to go to clinics, get them set up for tryouts, and ultimately get them to be successful. And I'm excited going into this tryout season. I think we have a handful of athletes trying out all over the country that are regulars at D Elite, and I'm excited to see what they end up doing at tryouts.
I just saw so much support and encouragement from like women to women, girls to girls.
They all hype each other up.
Everyone's cheering each other on. The guys are there supporting you with just so much knowledge, like embodied knowledge. They know exactly when they toss me or another person, like what you did and what you need to do to fix it, or what you can do to be better, and it's just immediate feedback, and it's fantastic. I loved seeing people there that are heads of other cheer camps, cheer companies, that are interested in this because it's offering something different, and I want to segue into that for a second. Like, what are you seeing out there in terms of the athletes that, and you also, being recently still in high school, that girls are needing in terms of their training that D Elite is offering? Or what do you see, how are you carving out and creating the programs that are at D Elite? Because all of you are directors and, owner of D Elite.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I think that one thing that I've noticed as a coach that my athletes need in the summer, specifically when it comes to thinking about summer camps, is they need a genuine and authentic experience. Cheer camp, what I talk to my athletes about, and what I've learned from going at high school and college summer camps, is cheer camp doesn't need to be state finals. Cheer camp isn't about putting out your best product. Cheer camp is about moving to the next level and sharing those genuine experiences with your teammates. So one thing I think that D Elite really does that is the perfect Disney World experience for my athletes is that we provide that genuine experience, and the staff that we've trained is just so uplifting, just like all the staff at the co-ed clinics. The D Elite staff is so uplifting, and they come from all of these great programs, and they genuinely want to see every team succeed. They're putting that positive pressure on them every single rep, every single time. They're giving them that feedback right away, and they're reassuring them that this is not state finals. This is not your district championship. This is not your league championship. This is about going from point A to point B and doing it together as a team. And D Elite does a really incredible job at forming that camp experience for the athletes. It's that positive reinforcement. It's the networking amongst the teams through stunt games and the bonding opportunities. And even for the staff, I think it's a great opportunity to network with other college athletes and be a part of a staff with people who you cheered with or cheered against the last 4 years. So, having I've seen the Rochester and the Adams girls on staff together. I've seen, the Division I, Division II, Division III girls on staff together, networking, learning from each other, and pushing those experiences onto the athletes. As a coach, I couldn't want anything more. I wouldn't want a better opportunity for my athletes to learn from.
And I think the way we've designed these camps is that you're going to bond by repping hard, putting in work, and then getting results. And ultimately, you see with this generation, it's really just about hitting achievements. So we set bars, we get in the trenches, we work hard, we get the results, we get over that bar, then they say, what's the next bar? And
they have those incredible former athletes and college athletes to learn from. Like, I know my girls go to camp and they're like, oh my gosh, that's Megan. Or, oh my gosh, that's that girl that cheered on Rochester. Like, I want to talk to her. I want to get a picture with her. Like, I want to learn from her. So having those faces on our staff, like, I couldn't be more grateful for our staff because they seriously not only are great coaches, but they're great role models for these young women and men coming to our camps.
That's why they're there. We got the best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that it's incorporating two things that we mentioned earlier. that mental break from that pressure of state finals. It's not state finals. It's not, we're not in game time like that, but we're working on other parts that are really important for that longevity that you spoke of, like the bonding and the building the skills so that that foundation is really solid, and that networking amongst everybody that creates that community.
Absolutely. I love how you said that that camp builds the foundation. It's not the end game. Camp is building the foundation, getting those good reps in, having that positive reinforcement, coming together as a team, so the end game is one step higher than it was if you wouldn't have went.
100%. So, Alyssa, when we look at our all-girl camps, outline that for us. What would a team expect when they come to a D-Elite stunt camp?
Yeah, absolutely. As a coach, a D-Elite stunt camp, whether it's 1 day or 2 day camp, is the ideal experience for not only the athletes but the coaches as well. Day one, when you come in, you've got all your stunt groups, and it's in the summer. As a coach, you're still trying to figure out what level these athletes are at. They're in their new groupings, and D-Elite, we break them up into 2 different groups. There's an advanced group and an intermediate group. So, you've got those groups that can hit the extended lib twist down. They're going to go over and learn from our advanced stunters. The groups that are struggling to hit the extended level or have more technical foundation things that they need to work on, they're going to go over to intermediate and get that one-on-one attention from a staff member. Another really great thing about D-Elite is that we load up our staff so that you don't get 1 staff member per team, you're getting 3 staff members per team. You've got all hands on deck at all times. Each stunt group is getting individual attention from a base, back spot, and a flyer. So as a coach, that's amazing because, I might have a flyer going over to a group trying to explain how a back spot works, but to have a flyer, a base, and a back spot in there really manipulating those roles for the athletes is amazing. After they're in those advanced and intermediate breakout groups, we pull them back together as a team. We hit pyramids and we prep them for performances because, again, while summer camp is not state finals, we love a good healthy competition. We love to put out those performances and prep for game day. So we have private coaches in there working with the pyramid. We have them in there working on final day performance. And then finally, the stunt games. Yeah, no, stunt games are the best because it's preparing those athletes for the next level and giving them that insight to that college sport opportunity that they may not know even exists. So we have stunt groups go out from each team. It's an opportunity to practice not only the athleticism of our sport and of stunting itself, but also good sportsmanship as well as healthy competition. And then again, we've got those performances not only at the end of day 1, but at the end of day 2. And it's just an opportunity to get out there and not have it super high stakes, but rep in front of, people who may be your future competitors. And while they may be your future competitors, hopefully they carry over into competitive season, that good sportsmanship as well, and that, women supporting women experience.
Yeah. And I think when we attack it with energy, like it's so cool to see people rooting on people from other teams. We'll be in stunt class and someone from the team right down the street will go hit a Ruby pull through stretch. And you got people on other teams getting hyped because they just saw that. Then you see the new skills popping off. So it almost motivates the athletes within the camp to keep getting those cheers and keep getting those applause. And when you have that positive atmosphere, that's when you're getting skills. That's when you're getting results. And when you combine that with having all hands on deck approach from staff, it's a beautiful thing that happens, and people get a lot better really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. D-Elite really promotes such a positive environment for there not to be constant competition. For, one D2 school can cheer on the D2 school right next to them.
Yep.
And it's really a beautiful thing to see. And that starts with the staff as they're demonstrating that to the athletes that come to camp. And as a coach, I couldn't be more grateful to have my athletes at Carlson watching the staff set that example for them.
Awesome.
And I would just say, our staff is just so sweet. They're all so hardworking, and they all, we set this standard for them that, if you, cheered at state finals or you cheer in college, that is our standard. And I think it's really great that BK has those standards because that just makes our staff so much better. And not only are they all so hardworking, they all have so much knowledge. And since they've competed at state finals or are cheering college currently, they're just so knowledgeable and they know exactly what they're talking about. Every single staff member can go up to a group and describe to you a Ruby slipper from a flyer, side base, main base, and a back spot because that's just the standard that we've set,
That's
and
the
it's
standard
amazing.
we roll with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just love how respectful our staff is, because like I'm the same age as a lot of people on staff, but they don't treat me any different. Like they see me as a director, which I really appreciate, and they also see our athletes as someone or people who are growing, and they understand since they've been in that position. Like someone who's cheered at Adams, like they can go up to Adams and be like, okay, I know exactly what you're going through. This is how I would do it. Or they would go up to any team and just say like, I understand where you're coming from. Like I was in this position once, so they're just really good about
Sharing that knowledge.
yeah.
And the love for the sport.
Yeah.
Because I
Period.
really do think that our staff genuinely loves the sport. They love what they do every day, and
And they're talented.
they're good at what they do too.
If I'm going to
For
camp, I
staff
want to
to
learn from the most
Absolutely.
talented people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And so for the athletes to see that come to our camps is really, really comforting as a coach.
Great. Awesome.
I'm just reflecting on the fact that every single one of us in some way has landed into the roles that we're in now in cheer, like unexpectedly in some ways, maybe not, maybe more intentionally on your part, BK, but even your start in cheer was a little bit like you were a football player.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, spontaneous, and just like who knew, your younger self, Megan,
Yeah.
did not know you'd be sitting here right now being
Yeah,
a director
it's
for
crazy,
DLE,
yeah.
being U of M cheerleader,
Yeah.
and all the things you're doing now. And you too, Alyssa, like,
Yeah.
did you even expect you to be here?
No. If you would have told me in middle school, just a little 12-year-old girl that loved the sport of cheerleading more than life itself, that the sport would have introduced me to so much more than just cheerleading, and that I would be able to work alongside such amazing people and be the head coach of such an incredible program with amazing athletes, I would have just died. Like, I am so grateful for the opportunities that cheer has presented in my life.
Yeah.
It really has.
Well, I'm thrilled about this because I've been out of the game for 23 years, and suddenly this year I've just been kind of like tossed in completely, and like I'm swimming. I'm enjoying this and loving it, and I'm going to the clinics, like doing stunting myself, tumbling.
Right.
Not
But
only did you get
also-
your tuck back, Candace, what did you do the other day? And we'll have the footage of this. But what
I did a
what-
rewind.
Whoop, whoop!
I've never done one. I've never even trained
so for
one
those, 100%.
ever.
For
Like
those
no
of
one's
you
ever
that-
taught me.
It was so cool. For those of you guys that don't know what a rewind is, it's a backflip up into a one-man stunt. Candace Wu, everybody, got it
It
done.
was so much fun. Now I'm obsessed.
You got the bug.
Right.
All right, well, let's round out this episode with our tips for rust prevention.
All right, the first tip that I would give you guys towards eliminating rust would be play a spring sport, run track, stay athletic. As we outlined earlier, a lot of what we do in cheer is a lot of wear and tear on your back. So give yourself a little bit of a break on your joints and go do something else that's going to overall up your athleticism.
Or, if your one true love is cheerleading, you can always just get a gym membership or make sure that you develop a workout routine in order to stay active in that off season. We really want to emphasize that rest required in order to be successful. However, doing a little bit each day. And specifically, not only for flyers, but anyone who wants to be successful when it comes to jumps or splits in round 2. The famous Sam Kerr would always say that flexibility takes no talent. So just making sure that you're putting in 5 minutes a day to stretch as well, on top of building muscle, whether that's at the gym or in a spring sport. Incorporating stretching into your daily routine in the off season is another great way to prevent rust build up in the off season, and then also, making sure that you're nourishing your body in that off season. It's easy to hit Taco Bell on the way home from school every day, but making sure that you're continuing to nourish your body, putting good food in your body, drinking lots of water. As the temperatures go up, you want to make sure that you're also increasing your water intake in order to keep your body ready for the next season or that next level of the sport.
Yeah. I would say, so if it's nice outside, go outside and tumble. Like, it can be 5 minutes, it can be an hour. I used to tumble outside during COVID when we couldn't go anywhere. And I actually used to work at, like, a gymnastics gym, and I would go there and tumble. Like, if there's, like, another place you can go see BK, just making
Open
sure.
gyms.
Right. It doesn't need to be, like, every day, all day. Like, you can give your body a break, but I would say, 10 minutes is gonna add up. You do it for 2 months, now you probably have a new tumbling skill, or your tuck is better, your jumps are better. Like, my tumbling got significantly better during COVID, and I'm honestly thankful for that time that I had to just really focus on myself and get my skills up, because it did lead to 2 more state championships. So just, yeah, putting in the work. And then I would say also, like, find a stunt group. You can work with your current stunt group or maybe an old stunt group, or get people together and just, yeah, get some reps in, like keeping that muscle memory going, just because you can work out and you can do things, but like having like stunting like becomes muscle memory, and like just figuring out your grips and your technique. It also took me a minute to kind of figure out like the way I base, but then like stunting with my teammates like during like the time we had off, like that really just helps you during the season. So
A little bit can go a long way.
Absolutely. And lastly, take a moment and be intentional. Grab a journal or just a piece of paper and write a little bit about who you want to be as a cheerleader, as a person or an athlete, or as a leader altogether. So for example, like, I'm strong. I am a strong person, and filling your energy into that space of being strong. Or maybe it's more specific. I am a person who toe touches with pointed toes. Whatever that is. What? Manifest,
Write it
right?
down.
Take that affirmation,
It comes.
feel into it, write it down, and then take the actions that fulfill that. So those are our tips for rust prevention. Anything else to say as we conclude the show, our fabulous D-Elite people?
This was so much fun. Thank you again so much for having us on, and we appreciate being a sponsor and a partner for State Champs W. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. Yes, we want to give a big thanks to Detroit Tumble and D-Elite, to BK for sponsoring this show and having us all on here to be able to talk about college cheer, coaching, what's happening in the summer season. So fantastic that you're all here listening. Thanks for tuning in, and
Don't get rusty.
Yeah, don't get rusty, and we'll see you next year, like next November-ish, for the beginning of the full-on Ready, Set, Cheer season. But look out for a few pop-up episodes here and there, and we hope to see you. Thank you so much, and take good care.
Ready, Set, Cheer is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, proud partner of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation Athlete of the Year Award. Applications now being accepted until March 31st, 2024, for the Male and Female Athlete of the Year. Download the application today at dacathleteoftheyear.com. D-Elite Cheerleading, inspiring athletes to win the day, every day.